All right, sorry for the interruption. The little wild woman needed some assistance. So we're going to continue where we were left off, working some loose leash walking. Oh, you lost it. Find it. He's like, no, it's fine. I'll get it later. So with this orientation back to you from the environment, if you're finding that he's really having a challenging moment, I know I've discussed it, ready, find it, where it can be the environment is also a big predictor of how well your babe may or may not be doing. So if, for example, the environment is too stimulating, or I know sometimes he has become a little overwhelmed by certain things in the environment, I know we kind of quickly dived into how through adolescence, things that were once comfortable when he was little are not as fluid now. So your best bet, he jumped and he missed the snack. Your best bet is try to keep yourselves as consistent as possible. You may also find some value in the pattern games. I know we haven't dived into them as much with some of the beauties thus far, but pattern games can be immensely beneficial for when your puppies are feeling big emotions from woohoo to like, oh no. And it can be for adult dogs as well. It doesn't have to be for baby puppies. She does have, for the Control Unleashed books, one of them is like a puppy book. One is for reactivity. I think one is like your everyday sort of book. So, but those could be a great option. So one of my favorites is like the up-down pattern game. So this one consists of getting your babe to give you eyes, not with cueing, but on their own. And the benefit of the pattern games is eventually with all of them is that you're building comfort in an environment that may not be always predictable. So sometimes he yells because he really wants some snackers, but maybe I'll get him up and wiggling and kind of make him move a little bit before we can kind of get another little moment. So it's not like he barks and he gets something. So again, no biggie. If some folks love when dogs will bark, but sometimes it can be one of those situations where by accident, while we're practicing, we may be having the puppy create a behavior change. So he might think, sit, give eye contact, and yell, then creates the food comes his way. And we technically maybe loved the sitting and the eye contact, but then the woo-wooing may have been paired, and he might be a little confused. So I'm not saying dogs shouldn't and can't bark. They definitely do. But sometimes when you're working with your puppy, they may be barking out of frustration, confusion. They may be tired. They're dogs. But then at times, maybe you don't want your puppy to just yell while you're working on something, and that's okay. Yes. So, but back to the pattern games. Those can be a great way to build focus on you from an environment that later could be more stimulating or more overwhelming than your puppy's able to handle. But because the patterns stay consistent, it brings comfort to your puppy where the world is unpredictable, the patterns still stay predictable and the same. So right now he's just grabbing a little drink, which is fine. Very thirsty man with all these yummy crumbs. Ready? Bodie, here. Good job. Hold the dripping. I know, sloppy floors. I can only imagine. Some friends are much sloppier with the drinking than others. So this is called the up-down pattern game. And again, we're just going to ignore the woo-wooing. I'm just going to get him up and wiggling again. So while I'm blabbing, if he likes to yell, I'm not going to go ahead and give him something at that moment, because then he's going to think it was potentially the barking that then gave him the more bonus bits. So we want to make sure that we either do another skill for a few moments and then feed for that behavior instead. So right now, calm, relaxed, feeling a little bit more cozy, and then also doing some loose leash walking is what's giving him the paycheck. Sorry, I was just checking to make sure my mic was on. So up-down pattern game consists of creating eye contact without you cueing it. The way this game starts is you're going to put the food on the ground, which I'm going to show in just a moment. And the moment the dog looks up at you, you would go yes, and then you're going to feed, for example, the food on the floor again. So I'm going to have him start off with taking the food. So it fell out of his mouth. I'm going to put it on the floor, and that's the part of the down. And then I'm waiting for those eyes. Yes. 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 So as opposed to me asking for those eyeballs, yes. He's offering it to me on his own. I'm going to send him away just with a find it so I can get him to start again and give him a little breather so he can move. So again, my hands might be ready with a couple crumbs. We're going to go ahead and put the first food on the floor for the down part. And then we're looking for those eyes. Yes. The moment he gives you eyeballs, you mark it, yes, and you feed. Yes. So again, I'm going to give him a little breather and toss the snack away just so we can reboot. So the benefit of the up-down game is it gets a puppy that starts to look to you for eye contact, even while other things might be going on. So the next game that I really love is what's called the ping pong game. Right now I'm just doing some find its. Remember, find its don't involve re-honing in with eye contact on you. It's typically to diffuse or get the puppy up and moving, help them feel safe again, diffuse or give them something to do instead of a different skill. So find its are not the same thing as, for example, the pattern game called ping pong. Ping pong is going to be where, as opposed to doing the up down, where you feed the floor is the down, the up is him giving eyeballs. This is ping pong is a little different. So let's say he gives me eyes. I'm going to go yes, and I'll toss it to the right or the left. Yes. For some of the babes, they prefer this game versus the up down because they like movement. So when he gives me, yes, those eyes, and you don't have to throw them as far. He's comfortable searching for them. But if your puppy was just starting this, they give you those eyes, yes, and you put it to the left or the right, just kind of nearby. If you feel like you lose him a little bit, let him kind of reorient back to you. And again, the reason I'm putting the food behind my back is sometimes they're very interested in your hands. And I don't want him to think that it is looking at the hand. I want him to have it where he eyeballs my eyes. So right here, I'm waiting for those eyes to hit me. Yes, and I toss the food. And of course, he smells all the different crumbs that may have been lost prior. Just getting a few more for this game. I'm gonna break them up. Some of them are a little bit bigger, which is fine. Yes. He's like, gotta maybe go get a drink. That's completely acceptable. So if your puppy is struggling with some focus, oh, he says, I'm gonna play with the bowl instead. Bodie, here. He's like, I'm gonna bring you the bowl. He loves to push them around like they're a hucky puck. Ready? Nice job checking in. So as opposed to going and be like, oh no, knock it off, or getting upset, might go, Bodie, ready? Find it. We'll just go into a little find it. I'm just gonna take the bowl out of range just for a moment so it's not quite as fun. And we'll just move it out of here. There we go. He's like, oh, that wasn't so bad. He's like, I'd much rather just push it around like a hucky puck though. So let's say again, we get those eyes on me. Yes. And I'm waiting for those eyes to hit me again. He's like, well, I have to pick up the crumbs he left from earlier. So I'm waiting for those eyes to, again, make contact with mine. Yes. And you can either toss it to the left or right, so you could rotate. You're not supposed to be doing it all to one side. So right here, yes. So this is another great way to get your puppy to practice giving eyes from distractions down the road. He's grabbing all the morsels we left earlier after dropping that bowl. So I'm waiting for those eyes, yes. So, but because this is a little bit of them having to figure it out the puzzle-wise, yes. As opposed to you constantly saying, hey, you look at me, or your name over and over, this starts to get more honing in on the handler without you constantly cueing or micromanaging. Oh, we forgot to chew that last one. You okay? He says, chewing is for losers. You good? He says, do you throw one? No, it's just going to try to pat his poor little back. So again, we're just going to let him see if he can reorient back to me. He thinks I may have thrown one. I might do a little Bodie here. He's like, no, I swear there's one lost in the sea over here. Nice. Good job. Oh, getting so tired. So we'll try another couple little rounds, and then we'll give him a little breather from this. So I'm looking for those eyes to hit me. Yes. And I toss the food. And of course, the babies are like, why can't we all just go wrestling again? Oh my goodness, chewing right there. Yes. So we'll give him a little break from the ping pong and the up-down pattern game. But I would say, like, again, if you're ever a little unsure about something that we touch base on, don't forget the documents I sent along earlier in previous programs. They will have some of these pattern games already in video form for you. It would be probably sometimes other trainers. There are a few moments where I've done some pattern games with other previous doggy day school students, but it's not always, for example, the same ones we're working today. There could be some others that you may find really helpful. The Super Bowls game would be something that I think would be really nice for Miss JoJo, because it can involve a visual target and you can move those Super Bowls. So it's like multiple bowls in a row or sometimes displaced in different little zones. And every time the puppy, again, glances at you, you put the food in the bowl and you move a little bit and they find your eyes again. You put the food in the next little bowl. And so the Super Bowls game would be another great venue for any of them for practice. But also Miss J, I think it could be really nice for her because sometimes she feels big things. And it could be a great way to transition from like the side yard or backyard or front yards further out into other more stimulating zones where maybe there could be something passing by and you're off to the side. Chewing is optional, but you're off to the side working those skills as other things are unfolding off in the distance. So pattern games, again, just could be a really great way to build connection, but also resilience in an unpredictable world. So very nice job, Mr. B. He says, this is so exhausting. I bet they all go home really pooped out. Huh. So we'll do another little find it, and then we'll probably call it a day for this exercise, and we'll work on another couple skills with him. Good job, Bodie.